one of the things that international audiences don't know about Australia, and particularly Sydney, is that half the population either wasn't born here or indeed have parents who weren't born in Australia. So we're totally multicultural. So that's one thing. The other thing I think people are less aware of is that we have the oldest living continuous culture with our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So 60,000 years of continuous inhabitation here in Australia. And I think that adds to the richness and the diversity of our culture. If you hold your meeting here in Sydney, you open yourself up to strong intellectual engagement because we have such an educated population, strong talent here. You have the ability to connect not just through the conference, but really build deep connections into the community. And there I'm talking about the academic and research community. I'm talking about the strong civil society that we have here, and indeed the business community across every different sector. And of course, if you love sport, then Australia's the place for you. Here in Sydney, firstly, it's the most beautiful environment. So you come here, you relax, you can focus absolutely solely on whatever the subject matter of a conference is. You can reflect and take time for conversations with others who hopefully will have some challenging views. You can share new ideas and promising practices. But not only that, when you step outside the conference, and in many cities and countries you're not able to do that very easily, here in Australia it's safe. We have a strong rule of law, we have strong human rights, we have the incredible freedom to move anywhere at any time, and I think that's a huge benefit. We take it for granted, but it's an absolutely huge benefit. The great thing for the Australian government and industry sectors in hosting these conferences is that they get to seed some of their people and their ideas into the conference. They get to be the recipients of new ideas brought from all over the world by other conference attendees. And those ideas will be important for Sydney and for Australia. We will be able to use them to inform new policy initiatives, to inform different community debates, to understand areas for more research and academic input. So I think Sydney particularly is a strong beneficiary when international conferences come to our city. Indeed, we all lift when that happens, and that's something I'm really excited about. I love attending global meetings for a whole variety of reasons, but one of the things is I love the storytelling that happens. It's the stories that engage not just my head but my heart, and stories from all over the world. So I find it incredibly energising. I meet new contacts, I get new ideas, and I have to say, when I leave international conferences, I feel rejuvenated, because I think often we focus on what the problem is and what we can't do and what's limiting all of us. The thing about an international conference is that the focus is often on the solutions and how we can collectively come together to change not just our cities but also our nations, and indeed that relates to a change to the world. Look, it's a great honour to be a BESydney Global Ambassador. So that's my first point. My second point is I find that it just gives me an extra platform to advocate for something I hold dear to my heart, I deeply believe in. And that's the brilliance of Sydney, what it offers, and particularly to attract international thought leaders, those who have new research, have new stories to tell. Sydney's just a wonderful place for that. So it gives me the platform to really talk about that, to energise others, and to hopefully draw those international conferences, the ones that matter, to our great city. love what I do. And the brilliant thing for me is that next year or next month, actually, I will step up as the lead UN rapporteur on women and girls across the world. I'll be the chair of a working group, and that will allow me to not just access ideas from all across the world, but also take the things that Australia's done that is good out there, much more broadly. So it's work that feeds my soul. I'm going to continue doing that as long as I can, and that's what I want for my career. Diversity is fundamental to building innovation, to building new ideas and creativity. That's the great thing about Sydney. It's such a diverse city. As I said, 40% of people who live in Sydney and Australians were either not born here or have a parent who weren't born here. So it's very ethnically diverse. We've got strong gender equality. We've got strong movements in terms of sexual orientation. And so we've got everyone contributing. That leads to an incredibly vibrant and not only that, inclusive situation. So it doesn't matter which part of the world you come from, you will belong in Sydney. And I think that's incredible. You will find people who you can connect to, who probably come from your background in your environment, who will share your views as well. And when you're welcomed into an environment like that, you can be your best self, and that's when innovation and creativity thrives. So I think that's the great thing about Sydney.